Hi everybody, thanks a lot for watching. I'm very happy to make this video. It's going to be me finally discovering for the first time the contents of the Paul McCartney brand new release, Pure McCartney. And love that cover. And this is actually due to come out June the 10th. I got this on June the 9th, a day early. Fortunately, there's a record store that I know, and it's not my usual record store that you see in my Vinylrama videos, and I'm not just trying to cover up for them, but another record store that specializes in new releases that jumps the street date, which I'm not going to get into too much, but I was very fortunate that this happened today because I was off from work, and I know tomorrow was the official release date. So I was feeling kind of glum and out of it because we all have those days, you know. It was kind of a down day. I wasn't feeling that great, and I needed something to cheer me up. And I actually made a phone call to the record store, and I asked them, did you get the new Pure McCartney album and CD set in? And the guy on the phone was a little unclear. He was like, well, what did you want, the vinyl or the CD? And I said, well, both. And he said, well, tomorrow's the release date. And I took that to mean he was lying and just basically trying to cover himself up. And I don't blame him. You're not supposed to jump the street date. So since I was in the mood I said, let me take a chance. What have I got to lose? No point going there after work tomorrow. I mean, I'm off now and I'm in the area. And I was lucky that he was just, you know, fibbing a little bit, because there it was. And he also had this is the 4-disc CD set of Pure McCartney, which I also picked up. And I should also mention there's a third version of this, which is half of this. It's a 2 CD set. So you got the vinyl records, and you got the 4-disc CD set, and you got half of this CD set, which I don't really recommend, the 2 CD set. And I didn't think I needed it. I may be a completist to some degree, but not to that degree. There's a lot to say about this. I got to say that I haven't opened this yet. I'm going to do so. But before I get to that, let me just say that I did play the first 2 CDs here. And the sound was phenomenal. I mean, I'm a vinyl fan. I got back into vinyl in 2011, as a lot of you know, and I don't play CDs that often, but when I do, I realize how much I really loved that format when I got my first CD player in 1986, because CDs, I mean, the sound is so sparkling, and I just got into my car right away, peeled off the wrap from this, played the first disc, and blasted it. I mean, it went up as far as it could, put the bass up, put the volume up. I had the windows down. It was a beautiful sunny day, and all the passers-by were listening to Paul, starting out with Maybe I'm Amazed from his debut solo album, McCartney, and all the other songs that were following. By the time I got to Listen to What the Man Said, which always puts a smile on my face, whatever depression, whatever of life's problems were bothering me just melted away, and I was listening to great music by a great man. This man, Paul McCartney, truly a musical genius. I mean, the melodies, the versatility, the variety over his life and career-spanning music, he's done it all. All right, anyway, what can I say? Well, how about the first thing, take this album set, and we open this up live on camera. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know if it's going to be completely live. It depends on how difficult it is, because I want to keep the cellophane on this, and I'm just going to tell the story for people who like this kind of stuff. They had 3 copies of this at my store. 2 of them on the shelves. The 2 that were on the shelves had a big bend in here, ding. I say big, I mean, you know, I don't edit every word I say after the fact, you know. I mean, sometimes you say words, I don't mean big, but a little ding, actually. And sometimes, you know, that's the dangers of these things arriving by mail order, you know. They got to be shipped from somewhere, even to a record store, right? What are you going to do? Well, the 2 copies on the that were on the shelf had the bend in here. And I was prepared to buy one of them. You know, I wasn't going to look for another, but finally I asked the guy, do you have any more of these? And he said, well, in the Paul McCartney section I have 1 more. And I went into the Paul McCartney section, and here's one where there's no ding at all. For those of us that are serious collectors, I mean, you're paying good enough money for this. It's not exactly cheap. You want to have a good copy. And there's the back. You have all the songs listed you know, you actually get fewer songs, I think, on the vinyl than you do on the 4 CD set, obviously. But let's open this, and depending on how I do here, because I do want to keep the shrink wrap, I'll either open it live in one shot, or I'll just fade it. Yeah, I don't want to hurt anything here, so I'm probably going to pause this or edit this part out. Okay, pulling out the contents. I think I got everything out. Okay, and here we got, first we have the book. Great pictures of Paul, the front cover, the back cover. And I've already looked at the booklet, identical booklet that comes in the 4 CD set, but of course it's much smaller. I mean, the images are just beautiful. Maybe I won't show all of them, because save some for those of you that want to be surprised, or you know, you can always just skip past this part. Great pictures. I don't even know where to begin. Just great pictures all around. Great photos. And also in the booklet, you're going to have all the details of the songs, what albums they come from, how they were recorded, and everything like that. So the booklet is also in the CD set, like I said, but much smaller. But still, you get all the photos, and in some ways, maybe they're easier to see here or to show for the camera. And I'm starting to wonder if all of these were duplicated. I don't know if all of these were in the big booklet. You know, they must all be in here. Yeah, in some ways, I think the pictures are a little bit. Yeah, they are, but look, it still seems smaller for some reason. Anyway, now the actual record jackets, the inner record jackets we have here. Trying not to hurt this booklet anyway. I don't have these in any particular order, but here's one of them. I mean, that's just great. This is side 7 and side 8, so we're starting at the end. I mean, how great is this? Look at this. Inside you have the pure McCARTNEY label, 180 gram, but also you have, it looks like you have a choice. You have the cardboard or the paper, from what I can tell. And that's one disc, and another disc. Look at that, great photos. And it's the same arrangement inside, I can see. Really beautiful. I guess this is one of the advantages of having the vinyl, because you're not getting these nice big pictures on here. Alright, we could just take a moment just to drink that all in, as Paul would say. Anyway, now I'm probably gonna show this one for all intents and purposes. I played this 4 CD set, as I say, in the car. Got through the first 2 CDs, this 4 here. So I got, in the course of driving and doing what I had to do today, blasting the songs, I played the first 2 discs, and again, like I said, I was knocked out by the sound quality. Now, there was some question going into this by some fans as to, they heard rumors that there were going to be different mixes of the songs, especially the songs that were newer, say Paul stuff, say in the 90s or 2000s. And it turns out, from what I can hear, the first 2 discs, and I know the songs pretty well, I didn't hear, I could be wrong, you let me know, anybody out there, I didn't hear any real differences. I thought maybe when I was listening to Flaming Pie, the song Flaming Pie from the 1997 album of the same title, I thought that maybe that sounded a little different in places, but I'm just, I guess, pushing myself to find any kind of different nuances. Of course, just the CD sound to me, and the loudness of it, and the way it was mixed, just brought out a lot more stuff. Even though the old familiar 70s songs, I thought I heard stuff that I'd never heard before. But actual different mixes, I don't think I can verify that. I don't think the mixes are that different, with the exception, of course, of the other last two discs 3 and 4 especially. There's the 2015 remixes that Paul did on his Archives series of Tug of War tracks, stuff like Here Today is remixed on here. Wanderlust is remixed. I have yet to get the new Tug of War archival remaster. For some reason I've been dragging my feet on that, but it was good to have it here. Now, a lot of the questions that people have been asking also, besides the remixes, is it really necessary to have this? And that's been a real debate that's been going on amongst Beatle fans. I belong to a couple of music message boards, Beatle message boards, and there's a couple of podcasts out that I recommend, and some people have been saying that even the most ardent Beatle fans think, oh, this is a waste of time. Why do we have to get this? Why can't we get something like Paul McCartney's Cold Cuts collection, where he like presents B-sides and outtakes and unusual tracks that didn't make albums? Why do we have to have this? And I got to tell you, if I was given a choice, I would say the same thing. But we don't have to make a choice, Of course, I would say if Paul asked me, or had the fans vote, would you rather have a career-spanning overall multi-disc set, or would you rather have stuff that was never out properly before? A lot of rare tracks and B-sides. Of course, I'd take the latter, rather than the former. But I can understand also there's people on Beatle websites that I discuss with, and they say to me and others, they say, I'm not spending money, this is a waste of money. If I want to have a tape like this, I can make my own tape. This is essentially just basically nothing more than Paul putting his own mixtape together. We could all do that. It's funny how we've become in the 21st century. I mean, since when did it become politically correct to bash an artist for putting out a career-defining, exhaustive compilation that it has a kind of overall view of his career in general? Of course, nobody's ever complained about that before, but now it seems to be a new thing. It's a waste of time. Well, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Nobody's forcing you to spend your money on it. But as far as I'm concerned, from where I stand, I think this is a very necessary compilation. Everybody has one. Most artists have one. I've had one for years, decades. They've had these. Why not Paul? Especially if somebody with as big a career as he has. And I want to take a moment to say that I do think that this particular release is maybe even more beneficial to the casual McCartney fan. And all you people out there that like the Beatles, that maybe like some Paul solo material, especially the 70s, that aren't familiar with all his stuff after the 70s, this is for you. And I can't urge you anymore, if you're a casual fan, to pick up, if you only pick up one thing, pick up the 4 CD set. Not the 2 CD, not the vinyl. You don't have to get that. And sometimes you don't have all the tracks on that either. But if you play this, you will find that there's a lot of good material on here. And for all you that thought that Paul's career died in the 70s, no way. You hear a track like Calico Skies, which is just brilliant, from the Flaming Pie album, and it could have been one of your favorite Beatles songs on the White Album or something. It's beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, I'll give you an example of what this does, even for the regular fan like me, that's kind of like die-hard collector and stuff. There's a song called Warm and Beautiful that's from Paul's Wings at the Speed of Sound album. And I don't really, it's funny, like I always seem to forget that track, or I don't really think of it much, and I'm not even that familiar with it. But when I was listening to this first disc, I got to hear Maybe I'm Amazed, followed by Heart of the Country, followed by Jet, and then they stuck Warm and Beautiful in there right before listening to What the Man Said. And hearing a song like Warm and Beautiful, kind of like, making a little appearance in there, sandwiched in between two songs that you really know you like and are familiar, I appreciated it a lot more. That's another thing. People were saying, well, this is something I'm going to buy, but if I buy it, it's just going to sit on the shelf. I'm never going to play this. I found listening to this in the car that I just may listen to this more than a lot of Paul's regular albums. I think, at first I thought too, yeah, I'm probably just going to like let this thing languish on the shelf. Who's going to reach for it that often, But then I thought, no, I think in generally you're more in a mood a lot of the times to hear an overview. You want to hear more of an overview of Paul's material. Career defining, career expanding. Let me also take a moment, because there's a lot of things I'm going to forget, to say that naturally the biggest problem you're going to have with this is, and we've already seen it in some reviews, critics and fans alike have said, well, why doesn't Paul put so-and-so on this disc? Why does he have this song on this disc, but he doesn't have that song? And he should have put this song instead of that song. Let me tell you something. If I was going to create this whole track listing, of course I could put my favorite songs on there, things that I think don't belong on here, and things that maybe should have been on instead. Like one big complaint, and I can see where people are coming from, is the fact that there's no songs on here from Paul's 1989 Flowers in the Dirt album, which is a popular album by Paul, and in particular 3 popular songs that could have been on here, like the song My Brave Face, the song This One, and the song Put It There. All 3, I think, are essential pure McCartney, whatever that means, really. They could have been on here as well, But, like I say, you can quibble forever. There's no songs from that album on here. And there's no songs from Paul's album Driving Rain on here. And even though I'm not a fan of Driving Rain at all, I still think it would be nice to have it represented by a couple of tracks on here. Don't know what they could be, because I think they all stink, but that's another story. How to get that in. But still, I mean, it should be represented in some way. The reason that I think Flowers in the Dirt is not represented on here is probably because, just my guess, the fact that Paul is now readying the Flowers in the Dirt release for his upcoming archival release, where he has the remastered albums, and he's going to be reissuing the Flowers in the Dirt album next. So maybe he didn't want to get the stuff released here when you could buy it there. But then if that was the case, why would he issue the 2015 upgrades of the Tug of War stuff? It doesn't make any sense, because, I mean, wouldn't that hurt the sales of Tug of War archival release? Yeah, a lot of questions. So yeah, I think I've covered it all, really. What can I say? There's some, all the tracks on here. Yes, if you're a hardcore collector like me and you have all the albums, of course you have everything on here. But even for us, there's stuff here that even the most hardcore collector might be missing. For example, the Say 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 remix from 2015 is on here. If you didn't buy it on the record store day single, or the Tug of War, or the Pipes of Peace, Pipes of Peace upgrade from the archives, you wouldn't get that. If some very staunch fans didn't care for the album of standards that Paul did, Kisses on the Bottom, which I happen to like, but the song My Valentine is on here, which is a Paul original composition. So this is a good way of getting My Valentine on here if you didn't get the Kisses on the Bottom album. And stuff like, I'm pausing here a little bit. Hope for the Future, which is the video game song that Paul made, I think in 2014 maybe. That's a good way to get this on a collection, So there's some odds and ends here that'll fill in some holes for you. I'm not saying those people that don't want to buy this are going to go out and buy a 4 CD set or a 2 CD set, whatever, just to have them. But I don't think that this is as useless as people think. Definitely for the casual fan, it's a must. I think it's a must for the casual fan more than the diehard completist. But the thing is, too, even for us, it's nice to have a sampling of Paul's songs for a road trip. And before I go, I think I'll just also conclude that way by saying that Paul originally conceived this collection as being like something for the road. He picked the songs, he decided what he wanted on here that best summarizes his career, and this is something to listen on a road trip if you break out. And it's good because there's also a little autograph from Paul in here. It says, I'll show it to you after I say it, because first I got to read it. Thanks for being my travel companions. Love, Paul. And I really like that touch there in gold writing. Thanks for being my travel companions. Love, Paul. Which I think is nice. And although, you know, I don't have everything planned, I hope he wrote that in this album booklet, because I'm just thumbing through it and I don't know if it's here or not. You know, this, I didn't prepare this, obviously. Oh, yeah. There it is. It's also there. So anyway, I really think this is a good collection. I heard the first 2 discs in their entirety, thought they sounded great. The last 2 discs I spot checked so far. I skimmed every song on the last 2 discs. I haven't played them in their entirety, but I can tell that there's nothing here that's different as far as mixes go, except for those 2015 archival editions of songs. So anyway, I recommend this. I think this is a very good release. I don't know what the diehard fans are quibbling about. Sure, we'd like to have different stuff from Paul, like I said, but it's still necessary, I think, to have a career overview package. Everybody's got one. Why not Paul? You know. As if you're somebody, a casual fan, I'm probably just repeating myself here. Please get out there. This is a great way to sample in one package all of Paul's solo work for the most part. You know, a lot of holes filled in. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take it easy.